Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome back to Boz Comics. I've said many times in the last 15 years or so that being a Spider-Man fan is a punished existence. Sounds melodramatic, perhaps, but what else would you call it when the powers that be, by which I mean editorial, seem dead set on sabotaging your favorite fictional character at every turn? Selling Peter Parker's marriage to the devil in exchange for prolonging the life of his geriatric aunt was supposed to usher in a whole new era of wonderful Spider-Man stories that couldn't otherwise be told. And not to belabor the point, but in all these years, the infamous One More Day storyline has yet to justify its existence. I won't pretend there haven't been some great moments since Mephisto came in and upended the proverbial apple cart, because there certainly have been. Superior Spider-Man is not one of them, mind you. That book is atrocious, and if you say otherwise, you're insane, and should probably not be allowed around other humans, but there have been some. But none of the good stories to come out post-OMD have been stories you couldn't do without Peter's marriage to the one and only Mary Jane Watson. Fans like myself have been decrying the ruination of the marriage and the forcible separation of the most iconic couple in comics, second only perhaps to Clark Kent and Lois Lane, for nearly 2 decades now. But alas, our cries have continuously fallen on deaf ears. More to the point, current Amazing Spider-Man writer Zeb Wells and editor Nick Lowe seem to actively delight in baiting and/or gaslighting fans at every possible opportunity. Just a side note, Nick, but when you're telling your writers that they should probably avoid the convention circuit for a while, maybe you need to take another look at the direction you're headed in. Just a thought. Of course, ASM continues to sell. It will always continue to sell. It's ASM. I don't have the time or the spoons to get into all of that, but I said what I said. Just because ASM is selling doesn't mean that people are happy. They haven't been for a very long time. Though a lot of us have started to lose hope, and still others have long left hope behind. Hope may have just arrived, though, and its name is Ultimate Spider-Man, written by Jonathan Hickman, with art by Marco Checchetto. In this story, the Maker, that's evil Reed Richards from the original Ultimate Universe, has done everything he can to shape the world into a utopian, for him at least, version of the place he calls home. Part of that involved getting rid of almost all the superheroes. In the case of Peter Parker, he made sure to intercede before Peter was ever bitten by that infamous radioactive spider. So, in this brand new Ultimate Universe, Spider-Man never came to be. At the start of our tale, Peter Parker is a 30-something guy with a beautiful wife and 2 adorable kids, trying to do right by his family, keep his head down at work, and just live his life. He's literally me. But still, he's besieged by this feeling of something wrong, out of place, that he's not where he should be, that he needs to make a change. And that's where our story truly begins. If you're tired of reading Amazing Spider-Man's almost farcical portrayal of an ambiguously 20-something who used to be an ambiguously 30-something before the fucking devil got involved and absolutely ruined a beautiful, nay, perfect thing, perpetually trapped in amber, never allowed to grow, change, progress, forever made the butt of every joke in his own damn book, eternally suffering because the writers are hacks and think that relatable struggle means endless fucking torment, Lamau. The new Ultimate Spider-Man book is the shot in the arm you've been looking for. Keep in mind, this first issue is almost entirely set up, but it's such a wonderful read, seeing long-beloved characters cropping up in new, unexpected ways. Trust me, a few pages in, my jaw dropped. You'll know it when you see it. And it's very much needed. By the end of this first issue, you know who all the players are, you understand where Peter is in his life within this new world, and you understand the choice he makes at the end of the story. You understand what the stakes are. The dramatic potential for where all this could go is off the charts. Because, a husband and father trying to juggle superheroics with his marital and parental duties and figuring out what it truly means to be responsible in the context of all that, yeah, I can't imagine why that would make for compelling drama. That's crazy. Who wants to read that shit? Oh. Occasionally, there have been criticisms of Hickman's writing that he's more of a plot guy, and that his dialogue can be a little stiff. I didn't catch that here. His banter was on point. Peter and MJ talk to each other like mature, loving adults who have been in a relationship for a long time and are very secure in their devotion to one another. The interactions they have with their children are delightfully precious, and I would absolutely read an entire issue of them just parenting, going about their daily lives, and doing little else. You can feel the love on the page, and it stands in stark contrast to the utter lack of it within the main book. If I have one complaint for this book, and it's an incredibly minor one, one that perhaps shouldn't even be called a complaint in the first place, it's that Peter's new origin, his becoming Spider-Man, does not feel like a traditional superhero origin. Without going into spoilers, the way in which he becomes Spider-Man is intrinsically tied to the ongoing plot of the Maker and his machinations, and so, as a consequence, it feels a little out of sorts to me, a little artificial. But there's an argument to be made that maybe that's the point, and honestly, I don't know how else you could conceivably tell this story without going in a direction much like the one they did. But it's just one tiny, infinitesimal thing that's stuck in my craw within an otherwise flawless issue, so I thought I would mention it. By the time the first issue wrapped, I was grinning ear to ear. I yelled for joy on multiple occasions. I believe the next issue is out in roughly 6 weeks, and I gotta tell you guys, I don't want to wait that long. This is a dense, dialogue-heavy read, light on action, mostly focused on setting up the new status quo. But if you're a big Spider-Man fan, if you've been dissatisfied with how the character's been handled in comics for a while now, much as I've been, this feels like very much the book we've been waiting for. So check out the new Ultimate Spider-Man. I promise you, you won't regret it.